Greetings comrades, Soviet Gaming here. Today we are doing the Wilders guide. Wilders or Wilders? I think it's Wilders because they're wild. Anyway, since my main account is full of Wilders and they are my core team, so I decided to make a guide on them. Why not? It will help you. I actually have all the Wilders heroes that are available and that's pretty cool. But before we start, everyone should in advance like the video, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell button so you won't miss any new videos, because we are going to 1000 and you are there to help us. Alright, so what's so good about Wilder teams? First of all, they have a lot of crowd control. Second, those guys have a lot of self-sustain and healing. They are really focusing on crowd controlling and healing, but this is their top priority, top deal, so yeah, they are really good at that. So if you want your team to non-stop stun enemy, like move them around the map, silence them, sleep them, and then heal your friends, Wilders is your way to go. So this is my basic Wilder team for the Wilder tower. We are using Tessie, Nemora, Lucy or Luca, Aaron and Cass. Those guys together, they work really well because like they're really nice. And now we have a new hero that's called Solis. She is really good, but we need to level her up in order to use him properly. So those guys should be core of your team because they are really good, they are working well together and they are not really hard to get. As you can see here, Tessie and Aaron are for crowd control, Luca for the damage, Cass for single target damage, and Nemora is healing everyone and keeping them alive. They are really working well together. As you can see, we are dominating everything. Now let's go over each Wilder hero a little bit to see who is good, who's bad, and how can you use them. And after that I'll go for the proper team composition for the campaign and mixed teams. First of all, Tessie, of course. Tessie is one of the best Wilder heroes because her crowd control is so good. Her sleep attack is decimating everything. It's just, oh my god, it's really good. This is the best crowd control in the game because it also cancels enemies' ultimate. So she is really good. So yeah, she is taking one of the enemies out of the fight right away with her banish ability. She can heal your friends. She can also use this ultimate ability that silences everyone. And when she's being hit by the enemy, she teleports away, totally mitigating all the damage from the hit. So she can even tank a little bit. In my opinion, she is must-have in most of the team compositions. Then we have Nemora. Nemora is one of the best healers in the game. Actually, I think she is the best healer in the game because her heal is so good. Her signature item adds a little bit more to her healing, so when she attacks, she also heals an ally, so that's really good. She is really good at that. And she doesn't only heal your friends, she also charms one of the enemies and they are taking their own, so that's even better. It's not only putting them out of the misery, out of the fight, it's also doing additional damage to the enemy team. That's really cool. And her heals from the ultimate, they also put a shield up if you overheal, so it's really good for evading the charm and for overall survivability of you guys. So yeah, her heals are really nice. Healing plus taking one of the enemies out. If she's working together with Tessie, it's 2 enemies out. First one is being banished, second one is being charmed by Nemora. Man, it's already 3 enemies against 5 of yours. Then we have Luca or Lucia. I don't know how it's pronounced. In Russia it will be Lucia. Probably that's the right name. I have no idea. She is a good damage dealer. Not the best one, but she have a good crowd control abilities. 2 of your main things are, first one, she is giving you 100 energy when the fight starts and increasing the haste of your allies, which is even better. Second is lowering enemies' defense, which is basically allowing them to take more damage. So she isn't your normal DPS, she also supports your guys and doing debuffs on the enemy team as well. Also, her signature item is really interesting, specifically at +20. It raises the damage dealt to the enemy target by 0.2% for every accuracy point that is higher than the enemy's max dodge points and can be up to 20%. So if your team is really accurate and the enemy team isn't really dodgetive, you will get a damage boost altogether because of Lucia. Another good thing about her, that when she uses her ultimate, it also works well with Shemira because Shemira can do, most of the time, she can do damage with her ultimate while Lucia is charging her ultimate. So it's a little bit of a bug or exploit, but it's been here for a while and it's really useful. The only problem with her ultimate that it's really narrow, so It goes in a cone basically, and you have to place your in the middle in order to hit all the enemy targets. If you place your at the top or at the bottom, she won't be able to hit all the enemies with her ultimate. Next one is Aaron. Oh, we have signature item for him and I haven't bought it. Why? Let's do it. Let's enchant it a little bit as well. So Aaron is good at damage and crowd control, specifically working together with Lusa or other narrow damage dealers or small AoE damage dealers. Why? Because when he's using this skill at the very beginning, he's pulling everyone from that cone right next to him. And then he can launch his ultimate attack, that whirlwind thingy, that actually damages everyone and pushing them all around, cancelling their attacks and everything. It's really good. It's really good. And he works well with Belinda, specifically with Belinda, because Belinda have a really narrow, small AoE damage with insane DPS. And if he will pull enemies next to him and Belinda will do ultimate on them, that will decimate the enemy team. And his ultimate is really good at keeping enemies at range, so I consider him a really good hero. I'm about to ascend him when I'll get enough fodder, and I recommend having him in your setup at all times. And then we have Kaz. Kaz is one of the basic heroes that were here from the very beginning of AFK Arena, but she is still really useful. She's considered to be one of the best single target DPS characters in the game, and she has a right to be that really good single target DPS. First of all, most of her abilities are focused on one target. Her ultimate ability, Assassinate, is attacking the enemy with the lowest health, so that's really good. And in combination with Feline Finesse and Evasive Strike, she can regenerate a lot of energy because of Feline Finesse and get a lot of dodge because of those skills combined. That will cause her to use this Assassinate ability even more often, and basically she will be really good at evading the damage. She can be even a good tank if she have enough dodge. And yeah, she will be running around the battlefield and killing the enemy weakest hero. That's pretty dope. And her signature item helps with that as well, because it increases her dodge and crit rating, and basically increasing her dodge even more and more, which helps a lot in combination with the skills I mentioned earlier. So yeah, once again, she is really good single target damage dealer. She is good at evading enemy attacks. She can even tank like that, and it's really nice to have her ready for action at all times. Next one is Cirrus. My personal opinion on him that he isn't really good as a tank. He is pretty good at crowd control. If you'll be using that torrent effectively, it can cause havoc on the battlefield, specifically with Aaron's tornado combined. But other than that, he isn't really a fantastic hero. The signature item though makes him a little bit better, because it increases his health to up to 100% and recovers some of his health in the beginning of the battle. That's a good bonus, but still it doesn't make him a really good tank. So yeah, his attacks are okay, but his torrent is the best because it stuns the whole enemy team a little bit. So another good crowd control. But I think there are better heroes to use in his spot. Goreville is another Wilder tank. I haven't used him that often, so I can't say for sure, but I have a feeling he isn't that good, because with the amount of crowd control you have with the Wilder team, tanks aren't really that necessary. His signature item allows his shield to be even better, so he is really defensive. And when I tried him back in the day, he was a really good at taking damage and protecting your team, but not really good at doing damage. Those stuns are good, but they don't last that long. And in my opinion, he doesn't really worth it, but only time will tell, because I have him at Elite Plus, so I'm not really sure how he will be at Ascended level. And the last Wilder tank, Ulmus, he is here from the very beginning of the game as well. My personal opinion, he is pretty weak. Even with his recovery, he is really focused on self-recovery and health recovery. Because first of all, in order for him to recover health properly, he needs to use his ultimate, this one, and burrow up. And he's getting those ranged splash capabilities and stun. This is getting better, but the problem is, he needs a lot of energy to go in that state. And since he is a tank, he's been killed way before that. So yeah, it's better to invest for someone better. Next one is Lorson. I got him just recently, so I haven't used him that often. I can say that he is really good at boss fights, because his skill that puts an eye over the enemy is increasing ultimate ability damage on that target. So if you're fighting a boss, he will be boosting your team's damage against the boss quite significantly. So yeah, it seems that he has pretty good abilities, but I haven't had a chance to try him properly. He might be good, I will try to get more copies of him, and if I will, I'll make a separate video on him. And the last Wilder hero, Solace. Man, she is really good. I tried her in the labyrinth. She was really good. She decimated the enemy team. So in the fight, she is summoning this flower that does damage to enemies. It can tank some damage as well. She also uses ultimate, which is boosting her flower, boosting her abilities. So most of her abilities are focused around that flower, and one of those is ally shield plus heal. So it's really nice. And yeah, she is a really good hero. Too bad that we got her just recently, so we need more copies of her in order for her to be useful in the main team composition. Alright, now let's talk about team compositions with the Wilder heroes. Which are better, which are worse, which are the most convenient. As you guys know, this is my main team composition that I use through the most of my campaign. This is Tessie, Lucy, Nemora, Chimera, and Brutus. The idea is Brutus is taking most of the damage, shielding up and letting all those guys to charge the ultimate and stuff. And the idea is to let Chimera release her ultimate and kill them all. If Tessie is managing to release her ultimate as well, enemies are being put in the sleep, Chimera is releasing her ultimate and the enemies are kinda dying. Luca here... Luca. Блять, как ее произносить правильно? Luca is here in order to boost the initial energy for the team. Nemora is for additional healing and crowd control, so it's usually working pretty well. So let's launch one of the fights and see how it goes. I think I'll win because I was staggering the fight for a while. But as you can see, most of the enemies are being stunned, crowd controlled and everything. When Chimera released her ultimate, enemies are dying, everyone is happy, and we won. That's it. Simple as that. Wow, I finished chapter 22 finally. Other than this, good team composition with the Wilders will be using Belinda and Aaron like this. Aaron will pull those guys closer to him and Belinda will release ultimate on them. I think the same will go if we'll put a Brutus next to Iron. It will do the same. Iron will pull those guys. Brutus will AoE charge at them if your Brutus is strong enough. That will work. My personal opinion is going with a full Wilder team for the core team isn't really a good idea because they really lack damage. They need someone like Chimera, Belinda or Athalia in the team in order to do the damage because they lack the damage dealer, the proper damage dealer. Luca alone can't do all of that. And sometimes it's really beneficial to put someone like Rowan or Rosalind next to their team in order to boost the energy gain for them to release their crowd control skills earlier. So if Rowan will launch his ultimate, he will recover everyone's energy, they will do a lot of the ultimate, enemies will die. Other than this, Wilders are really versatile heroes that are really good in any team composition. You can have the normal team of Lightbearers and put Tessie over here for additional crowd control, or put Nemora for additional healing, or put Luca for additional energy and debuffs. Most of them work well in combination with any team. So yeah guys, let me know in the comments what do you think about Wilders and which are your favorite heroes. Don't forget to leave a like, leave a comment about anything and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet and hit that bell button. Also follow me on Instagram and on Twitch because I'm streaming there, and join the Discord because we're making the fantastic community over there. You'll like it there. That's about it for now guys. Soviet out. See ya comrades. Bye.